Oh man, I promise this is the last video I'm doing today. But final thoughts on making a sinew bowstring. And you can see with this style of tip, just the plated loop will hold on that tip. And you don't need to have a huge collar of sinew on there. Some things to think about. First of all, obvious, is maintaining even sizes and even, twisting throughout. But some things that aren't as obvious, you notice I've got a little extra here, not a ton of it, is that when you're taking the dried sinew fibers and you're twisting and stuff, you have to anticipate that when you take it, if you do it like me, I dip it in thinned hide glue and then I stretch it. You have to keep in mind that it's going to look super thick before you do that, before you stretch it, and soak it and stretch it. And so you have to anticipate the size difference. Once it's soaked and stretched, it's going to be greatly reduced. And you don't want to wind up with too thin of a string. And so, that's a little bit of witchcraft and guesswork there. You also have to consider the length of it, because you wet it and stretch it, it's going to get longer. And you don't want to wind up with a string, which most of the time, if you're comparing it, you put it on this tip and then you're twisting it. How far beyond the length of the bow do you go? I mean, you can certainly have a lot extra and wrap it around the bow tip, but why go to that effort when those fibers could have gone into your string? So covered shrinking, the evenness of both. Oh, the last bit is when you're hand twisting them and you're looking, you have to add fibers, and it's a continuous thing. With backstraps, sometimes you don't add them as often, but sometimes you have to get a little fiber and add it, and a little fiber and add it, because you've got different lengths of fibers there and you want to keep it even diameter throughout. You might think that you're looking at it. What do you call it? Two ply. That ply is the same as this ply, but I actually have an easier time judging how many fibers are in each ply and when to add it by the feel. When you're taking it and you're squishing and rolling it, you can be downright accurate with this one's a little thicker than this one, so I'm going to have to add it. Because if you don't have even plies, first of all, you're not going to get that nice twisting, and you'll wind up having one of the plies straight and the other one kind of twisting around it, which is not good. Well, I guess that is it. It's a little bulky here, but it's still stiff. It'll break in, get a little more pliable as it gets used. Yeah, smoked the hand wrap on top of the chimenea. It smells like cedar smoke. This is very thick through here because it's actually doubled when you plate it. And there's the option, because I've got a little extra length there, is I could put the string through this loop and have kind of a constricting type of thing. But honestly, with this style of tip, all you need to do is pop it off the top. And if you want to string it, you just flex it and then pop it over the top. Now, it's not as convenient really as say your typical 2-loop string, because you can slide it down and it's contained. You'd probably have to wrap the string around the bow and then kind of secure it somehow like that. But yeah, 100% natural organic bow. No Dacron B51 or B55 here, my friends. Well, with that, I'm going to check on my ham and sweet potato soup.